नमस्ते बिटिया। हमेशा खुश रहो। माई सेल्फ डॉक्टर गौरव गुप्ता, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन एंड टॉक्सिकोलॉजी, फैकल्टी ऑफ होम्योपैथिक साइंसेज, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, वुमेन्स यूनिवर्सिटी, जयपुर। Today we are continuing infanticide and child abuse, and in this chapter we are going to discuss, or we are going to continue the previous topic, postmortem finding in the case of live-on. In the previous section, we discussed external postmortem finding in case of live-born child and internal findings of lungs and about the hydrostatic test in case of live-born infant death. Today we will discuss other changes, other internal findings in case of live-born infanticide. So the other changes include change in middle ear or Redden's test, absence of gelatinous embryonic connective tissue which was present during fetal life, and presence of air in middle ear is only seen after live birth. In fetal life, there is a presence of gelatinous embryonic connective tissue in the ear, and there is no air in the middle ear. And once the child has born, this connective tissue disappears, and there is presence of air in the middle ear. If these two signs are present, then they suggest that the child was alive after birth. Changes in stomach and intestines. Live-born infant swallows air into the stomach during respiration, but the air may also be present in the stomach after decomposition or in the stillborn attempting to free the air passage of fluid obstruction. So usually in live-born, when the child gasps for the air, when he breathes, he swallows air into the stomach. But it is not confirmatory sign, as the air may also be present in the stillborn due to the decomposition, or if air passage is tried to clean, mucus is tried to be cleaned from the air passage, then air may be present into the stomach. Meconium. In case of live birth, the large intestine is completely free of meconium within 24 hours after birth, but in stillbirth it is present in the intestine. But the meconium will only be absent, or intestine will be free from meconium only after 24 hours, because meconium is passed within 24 hours. Okay. Changes in the blood vessels. Umbilical arteries are obliterated within 12 hours to 3 days, and obliteration of umbilical vein and ductus venosus is complete by 4th day, and the ductus arteriosus obliteration is done in about 10 days. So they will suggest the duration for which the child was alive. So in case of meconium, if the intestine is free from meconium, then the child has been live for more than 24 hours. If the umbilical arteries are obliterated, then the child has been alive for 12 hours to 3 days. Or in case of umbilical vein or ductus venosus obliteration, complete obliteration, then the child was alive for at least 4 days. In case of ductus arteriosus, it is 10 days. Changes in heart. So the closure of foramen ovale occurs by 2 to 3 months after birth. Ossification centers. Presence of ossification center at the lower end of radius, head of humerus, and femur and capitulum of humerus may also be taken as sign of separate existence for few months. So the child was alive for few months if there is presence of ossification center at the lower end of radius, at the head of humerus and femur, and at the capitulum of humerus. Changes in the blood. Nucleated RBCs are absent in peripheral circulation within 24 hours after live birth. Fetal hemoglobin may be present in the blood up to 6 months or more. Incremental line in enamel of teeth. Neonatal incremental line in the enamel of teeth is formed at birth, which is one of the surest sign of live birth. Closure of fontanelle. Closure of different fontanelles occur at different periods after birth. So different closure of different fontanelle will suggest that for how much period the child was alive. Closure of posterior fontanelle may occur at birth. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.